what is my topic today is about the source of cosmological knowledge. According to me, we have to approach science from Quranic point of view, not from the classical point of view, what Ghazali has said, but Al-Razi has said, because that is long back. Now, their understanding of cosmos is not that much relevant to modern times. We have to understand the universe and science from Quranic paradigm, rather than just rooting it in their personalities, as was said by one of the scholars in the morning. So first of all, I am very thankful to Idara-eTahqeeq-o-Tasneef-e-Islami, Aligarh, and I had been the part of it once. I have learned many lessons from that great institute. So I owe much to this institute, Malamza. So I'm happy to be here with you. Secondly, the source of cosmological knowledge was the divine book. And these are some assumptions. Islam never discouraged people from scientific explorations. This is the second point. Third is the taqleed, rigidity, and sectarian divisions kept people away from science. Why Muslims have degenerated in science? I feel that these are the reasons. It is not Quran, it is not Sunnah, and it is not our legacy. In the Quranic parlance, ulama were not only theologians, but the scientists also. So Quran does not call ulama only those people who are dealing with theology, but scientists have been also called ulama in the Quran. Innama yakhshallaha min ibadil ulama. This is my, one of the assumptions. We can discuss that. Science, technology, and philosophy is different from philosophy of science. Nowadays, we are sometimes confounding modern science with philosophy of science and philosophy of science with science. We have to separate science, technology from philosophy of science. We have problem with philosophy of science. We don't have any problem with science and technology. So these are some of the points which I have tried to address in my lecture. So first of all, how the Quran has provided a complete metaphysical account about the universe. The Quran established principal rules for the whole world in the way it is a book of the universe from its inception to end. So these are some of the I should say views of Dr. Ali Sami Nashr. So Quran addresses human intellect and invites it to think and ponder over the creations of the heavens and earth, and to their belief in all-powerful single divine being by way of an analogy from the cause to the effect, from the design, system, and order to the great designer. This is very important. Do they not look at the sky above them, how we have made it and adorned it, and there are no flaws in it? So this was the first invitation of Quran about cosmology, to see the universe above us. And those days, there was no science, there was no NASA, and there were no astrolabes. The earth we have separate out and set there on mountains standing firm, and produced therein every kind of beautiful growth in pairs for an insight and reminder to every servant turning to Allah. أَفَلَمْ يَنْظُرُوا إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَوْقَهُمْ كَيْفَ بَنَيْنَاهَا وَزَيَّنَاهَا وَمَا لَهَا مِنْ فُرُوجٍ. You can see these are the words of the Quran which are talking about universe and cosmos. And I translate, and we sent down from the sky rain, charged with blessing, and we produced there with gardens and grain for harvests, and tall and stately palm trees with shoots of fruit stalks piled on one over another, as sustenance for Allah's servants, and we give new life therein to land and that is dead. Thus will be the resurrection. So you can see how Quran addresses problems about the universe. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا وَظِلَالُهُمْ بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ. And Allah prostrate whosoever is in the heavens and the earth, willingly, such as believers or unwillingly, and their shadows also prostrate in the mornings and the evenings. So you can see about heavens and about earth mention is made. Scientists seek to understand nature and reduce this understanding of yours in the form of laws. In this effort of inquiry, observation, experimentation, and inference, tremendous knowledge of the various aspects of nature has been accumulated. Science is nothing but this accumulated knowledge of nature arranged systematically. Our Quran has mentioned about universe and different heavenly bodies. So you can see Quran is talked in these verses, chapter 2, 255, then 35, 35 chapter and verse 14, then 55 chapter, verse 4, 96 chapter, verse 4 to 5, mention of various aspects of the universe. Mention of the Kawakib, planets, is in chapter 12, verse 12. Night and day are mentioned. Creation of heaven, heavenly bodies, and the earth, and alteration of day and night. Cloud and winds are mentioned. Moon is mentioned and sun is mentioned. Morning is mentioned. The number of months is mentioned. For stars, masabi has been used. The term masabi. Nujum is also used for stars. For galaxies, the Arabic word buruj has been used as a strong rooms built on the walls of forts for the protection. Invitation to think about the sky so that its beauty and magnitude compel a person to believe in the creator and his greatness. Mention of galaxies and its equilibrium is mentioned at chapter 79, verse 28. Mention of this expanding universe has been made in many places, but especially in chapter 51, verse 47. The recession of the galaxies from each other is mentioned, chapter 51, verse 7. The unity in the organization of the universe, the magnitude and the quantity of affairs managed are sufficient to prove the existence of a creator, manager, God, who is at the helm of all affairs and who about him states in the Quran that he has raised the skies and governs its affairs. Chapter 30, verse 2. Chapter 35, verse 4. The Quran talks about the origin of the universe. Chapter 2, verse 117. The word Badiyu as an attribute of Allah means one who does something for the first time without having anything like it existing earlier of it, which is known as creatio ex nihilo. This meaning confirms the assertion recorded by H.R. Pagels in his book, Perfect Symmetry, that the universe began from nothing.
Professor?
So, yeah.
Rafiabadi Sahab?
Yeah.
You are very much kindful if you conclude within 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you.
I will take all the 3 minutes. This may be noted that the word fatir is also used in the Quran for creator. The word khalaq means creating or proportion something from some other thing. The word bari means one who gets rid of something, removes or purifies. One of the attributes of Allah is al-musawwir. Earlier shape of the universe has been mentioned. One is the universe having filled with hydrogen gas has been mentioned. And various theories about the mention of the universe, which has been mentioned by our friend, Mr. Ali Muhammad. I will not mention that. Allah has created the earth and kept providence in the earth. So these things have been mentioned. And Ibn Rushd has said, maintained that the study of the world and the creation is included in philosophy. This study and scrutiny of this subject is obligatory from Sharia point of view, as he maintains that it entails rational analogy, which is possible by studying the books of the predecessor philosophers, and the study of their philosophy is obligatory, he says. So in this way, we can study the books of others who have talked about the universe, and Islam has not stopped us from that. Almost all Islamic philosophers have agreed on the point that all the competent people who can observe the universe, it is obligatory for them to do the same, as many Quranic verses invite people to have observation of the universe. However, it should be kept in mind that the Quran has manifestly mentioned the two words, alam mean, that are subject to human knowledge, unseen world, al-Ghaib, and this visible world, al-Shahada. So we can have only knowledge of the al-Shahada, not of the unseen world, and we have to believe in that on the authority of the prophets. But it is nowhere implied in these verses that we cannot know the visible world. On the contrary, humanity is encouraged to explore and reflect upon the visible universe. So there are the verses of the Quran which I have mentioned. These and other verses of the Quran make it clear that the visible world can be known by human beings through reflective thinking. And the word tafakkur has been used for scientific understanding of the universe. and tadabbur for understanding Quran, and taqul in a general common sense terminology. After quoting all these verses and references, I can say that Quran was the source of Islamic science, and it was because of the Quran that the Dark Ages were removed. But Muslims have themselves plunged into Dark Ages because they left Quran behind, and then they became sectarian, and they just start taqleed. And the reason was they are all explorations. They were taken by the West, and then they improved upon them, and now we are at the receiving end. So if we want to go back to the glory which we had once in all fields, including science and technology, as has been said by Badiuzzzaman Nursi, if a community belonging to another religion wants to become scientific, they have to leave their religion behind. But if Muslims want to become scientific, they have to go back to their Quran. So in this way, my point was Islam had given a detailed argument and detailed estimation of the universe and cosmology, and how we should explore the universe, and how different heavenly bodies are inviting our attention. So in this way, it was Quran which had given rise to a new age, and the Dark Ages was just dismantled by this Quranic Weltanschauung worldview. So with these words, I once again thank Idara-eTahqeeq for giving me the chance, and inshallah I will be sending you the paper and it will be published. And if there are some questions later on, I am very happy to respond to these questions. Thank you very much. Because of the paucity of time, I could not say many things, but alhamdulillah, it was still, I was able to just give gist of my views. Thank you.